Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, or the podcast, or the solo cast. Well, I haven't really thought of a name for it. Today, we are going to be talking about aliens. If you're not aware, the US has released some files saying aliens exist. There are things out there which we cannot explain and which we don't know what they are. Aliens are obviously fake. They're fake because aliens are actually not what you think they are. Aliens are. My name is Mike Umamo, and I will be guiding you through random topics. Um, we'll be talking about God, about demons, about money, about sex, about human psychology, about love and books and movies, and maybe I'll even play you my guitar. It's going to be really random, educative things, esoteric things. But most importantly, we are going to be trying to find the truth about random things. So if you're not into talking about deep things, about consciousness, about very deep things, then this is probably not your video. So you should stop watching it right now. Now, today we are going to be talking about, rather, I am going to be talking about aliens. Now, aliens are obviously fake. They're fake because, number one, politicians have finally agreed that aliens exist. If you're not aware, the US has released some files. I haven't really checked them out, but from what I've heard, they're basically files saying aliens exist. There are things out there which we cannot explain and which we don't know what they are out there. Now, I've said aliens are fake, they're not real, because number one, politicians have accepted that they're real, and anything that politicians accept, it's probably not real. So, there is that, and then number two, I think aliens are not real because the word alien is a propaganda word. Now, propaganda word is a word that is invented to sort of elicit an emotion instantly before you even understand the gravity of what's happening. An example of a propaganda word is like pessimist or an optimist or a sexist or a misogynist or a racist. Now, these words, when you hear them, you immediately have an idea, or rather, it brings out certain emotions in you even without understanding the scope of what is happening. So, alien is one of those words, because the moment you hear alien, you think about a creature or a being that's from very far away, billions and billions of galaxies away. So that's the second reason why I think aliens are not real. Now, the third reason I'm saying aliens are not real is because aliens are actually not what you think they are, or rather what they want you to believe they are. Aliens are demons. Yes, I said demons. Aliens are demons. Now, I will try and tell you why I think aliens are demons. And I am going to use this to show you that aliens are demons, or rather to try and find the origin of aliens. I want you to go to the book of Genesis, chapter 6. I'm going to read it with you. So we're going to read Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 to 7. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Now, I want you to be very keen on verse 2. It says, the sons of God. Now, these are not human beings, because I want you to see how distinct these two things are: the sons of God and the daughters of men. Now, if they were human beings, the Bible would say the sons of men. Same way they've said the daughters of men. So the sons of men are not human beings. They are, is what I think, okay? I'm not saying this is the truth. I think they are fallen angels, okay? Or some people call them the Watchers. Because what happened is, after Adam and Eve sinned, they were taken out of the Garden of Eden. And I'll tell you why they were taken out of the Garden of Eden. They were not taken out of the Garden of Eden because, part of the reason why they were taken out is because they obviously sinned against God. But the most important reason why they were taken out, and you can read chapter 3, the end of chapter 3, and you will see it was because in the Garden of Eden there was the tree of life. God did not want them to eat this tree of life, because the moment they did, they would become immortal beings. And immortal beings are irredeemable, okay? Once they fall, they cannot be redeemed by God. Now let's continue. So, verse 3. Let me do verse 2 again. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. Fair means beautiful. And they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God, the fallen angels, came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually, and it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the earth, from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. So that's chapter 6, verse 1 to 7. So this is what happened. These sons of God, these were the fallen angels. They saw the daughters of men, the women, beautiful. And what they did is they mated with them, and they created these giants. Okay, the Nephilim were half human and half angelic beings. Now, what happened is, once these angels mated with human beings, they became fallen angels because they were not supposed to do that. They sinned against God, so they became fallen angels, and all fallen angels became demons or are demons. Now, initially, these fallen angels, they were assigned by God after Adam and Eve sinned. They were assigned by God to guide human beings, because now God was separated from man. God could not guide human beings, so he assigned this certain group of angels to guide them, to teach them simple things, basic things. And I'm thinking things like digging or working with metals or fire, like very basic survival things. But instead, they fell for the daughters of men, and they mated with them. And they produced giants. Now, this is what God decided to wipe off from the face of the earth, the Nephilims, the giants, because they were unnatural and they were destroying everything on earth. Let us go to verse 12 to 13. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, the Nephilim. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Them, God is referring to the Nephilim, or the giants, which were created during the times of Noah. So, aliens are real, okay? And I've always thought aliens are real, and I've had an encounter with something that I thought were aliens. I actually wasn't alone. I was with my friends, and we were in a place called Kasarani in Nairobi, and we were living there, and I saw like a light up in the sky. There was no electricity for some reason that night, and this this light kept moving back and forth, very fast, back and forth. And I showed it to my friends, and we agreed that that was not a normal light. So I'm not saying they were aliens, I'm just saying I've had an encounter with something very strange in the skies. I've also seen I can't really explain it, like something that looked like a cross, and looked like a fire, and it was sort of rotating in the skies, and it was not really moving. It was just standing and sort of rotating. Think of a cross on fire, like a cross on fire, and just rotating. Then it disappeared. So I don't know if I still have the video. If I still have the video, I will show it here.
¿Qué narices es eso? Menos mal que va para arriba y no para abajo porque si no estaría cagada.
So what am I saying? What I'm saying is aliens are quite old. Aliens are fallen angels which became demons because they sinned against God. Now they've always been here. They've always been here, and they've continued teaching human beings technology. And once they became fallen angels or demons, let me just call them demons because that is what they are, they continued teaching human beings even forbidden technologies. If you research about great people like Nikola Tesla, I think there's a point where he said that he practiced the occult. He basically spoke with spirits. I think he had come up with a way to supply electricity in the air, not with lines, not with power lines, in the air. Now, we are smart human beings. I'm not saying we're stupid, but we're not that smart. Most significant people have talked about working with spirits. There's this great musician, which I will not mention the name because if I do, I might get sued and I don't have money for lawyers and stuff. So this great musician, he used to sleep for days, and he would come back with great hits. And and he would also go on top of trees, and he would say, from that tree, from the top of that tree, he would get this great hits. I think you probably know who he is. He died, I think, in late 2000s, like between 2007 and 2010, I think. I think it was an overdose, apparently. So all these great people you will hear, they've been communicating with spirits or entities that are not from this realm. Now, that is what I think aliens are. They are fallen angels, the demons, which have remained on earth and which have been teaching human beings forbidden technology. And they've been here since Genesis, since the beginning of time, because that is what God had assigned them to do. So why now? why now? Why did the US decide to release these files saying aliens are real? Number one, it's a destruction, and I will tell you what they're trying to distract you from. But the first distraction that we had was we still have is the US-Iran war. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm saying it was deliberately started, and they will continue funding it to distract you from this one thing that I will tell you. Another distraction that we had was the fake moon landing. The other fake moon landing, not the first one. The second one that happened recently. I think it's called Artemis. Artemis. If you still believe in the first moon landing, then so that was the second distraction. The third distraction is the new virus, the Hunter virus. Now, I'm calling them distractions. I'm not saying they're not real. I'm saying these are things that are actually happening. Well, the Artemis, the moon landing is not real. That was fake. They did it in some studio in probably California. So there's three distractions. They're trying to distract you from one big thing. And I will not say the name of it, because if I do, they'll probably take down this video. But the US also released some files about rather how this elite people, the politicians and Hollywood and these powerful men have been trafficking and raping and eating children. So they've been trafficking and abusing and raping and eating children. Now, I have been listening to some very wealthy people, and there's one wealthy person who said there's a certain level of wealthy that you cannot get to if you don't believe in either a benevolent force or a malevolent force. Basically, if you don't believe in good or evil, the forces of good or evil. Now, from these files that were released, you can actually tell there's great evil that exists out there. So people have been eating children. That's how insane, that's how evil these people are. Now, there's also a big company, which I will not mention the name. So the company's ship has been sort of arrested. It's been arrested because the staff employees have been caught with a massive amount of child pornography. And that is a whole other rabbit hole, which we will go later. But I've always heard rumors about this company, whether the founder of this company and his pedophilia, his satanic rituals that involved raping children and eating children and all that stuff, satanic stuff. I used to think it was rumors until, well, their ship is being arrested. So, number one, um, the release of these aliens is a distraction for this from this big thing. This this thing where the elites are sort of doing satanic rituals on children and raping and eating and sexually abusing children. So that is the first reason why we're now having the release of aliens. Let us read one another verse. It's in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 21. Now, I recently started reading the Bible, so I'm not sure where Ephesians is. Let me try and find it. At least I know it's in the New Testament. Okay, let me just look at the table of contents. Chapter 6, verse 21. But ye also may know my affairs. No. It's Ephesians chapter... Wow. So I actually can't find the verse. Basically, what that verse I'm referring to, it refers to how, I think it says something about how we wrestle against the rulers of darkness of this world. And if you also remember Jesus' temptation, when the devil came to Jesus, he said, I will give you all the wealth of this world, meaning the wealth of this world belongs to the devil. Jesus did not rebuke him or refuse and say, these are not yours to give. He did not say that these are God's to give. He actually accepted that it is the devil's to give. So, I want you to understand that the world is ruled by, the world actually belongs to the devil. A lot of these things that we keep on going after belongs to him. And if you really want to reach a certain level of wealth, you will have to meet either God or you will meet him. And you will have to choose between God and the devil. Number two, the reason why they've recently released these files is they are setting up a stage for the ultimate deception which is to come. I think the President of the United States said that the UFO files will change what Christians believe about God. So the whole point of aliens is to set up a stage for the great deception. What I think will happen is aliens will be presented to us. They will say, aliens are here, and you see they have very advanced technology. They've been the one who've been teaching us this technology, and they are the ones who created us, human beings. Now, when they say that, I want you to think, the Bible strictly says that man was created in God's image. I think it's Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. I'm pretty sure aliens do not look like human beings, but they will try and present them as our creators. Another way they're going to bring about the great deception is, it's going to be one race of aliens. It's going to come and bring war onto us, and they will force all governments to come together and become one government, and then there will be another race of aliens, but these two races will be working together. So these other aliens, this other race of aliens will come and fight off these bad aliens, but they're really working together, and we will start worshipping this good race of aliens because they've saved us, and they will maintain that one world government, which is something they're trying to really create to control human beings, but that is another topic for another day. Or they will merge these two things. So they will start this war with the bad aliens. They will bring about this good aliens. They will kill these bad aliens, and then they will say, you see, these good aliens, they are our creators, they are our gods, and we should worship them. And they will use this deception to create an agreement, because an agreement based on deception is very powerful. Because if I lied to you until you agreed with my lie, then that is a very powerful agreement as compared to an agreement where you force someone. I don't want you to imagine aliens are from a very distant place. Aliens, fallen angels, aliens, demons, and aliens, the fact that they have confirmed that aliens exist should bring you closer to God, because now you understand aliens are actually demons. Now, the word alien was created to sort of remove the human civilizations from God. We are significant. The earth is the center of everything else. God is not very far away. God is closer to us. I will finish with Proverbs chapter 14, verse 15, and it says, let me try and see if I can remember it. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. I think I've nailed it. Yes, let me repeat it. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. What this means is the simple person will believe everything he is told by mainstream media, by textbooks, by politicians, by even your parents, but a very prudent man or a wise man sits down and decides to research and dig deeper and try to arrive to the truth. I want you to sit down and ask yourself, are you the simple man or are you the prudent man? So thank you so much for sitting all throughout this class of mine. I'll find a name for the podcast and I will bring in more people. I'll bring in my friends. I have very smart friends and I have very intellectual friends. The whole point of this is not to tell you that this is what truth is. The whole point of this podcast is to try and help you research and help you walk through that door and try and find the truth for yourself. I want you to follow the white rabbit, Following the White Rabbit is from the Matrix. I don't know if you've watched the Matrix or the Matrix if you went to a group of schools. Following the White Rabbit basically means following the truth, or following something, or researching something so that it can change your perspective in how you look at things. This is a sign of intelligence. A sign of an intelligent person is someone who can sit down and receive new information and let it influence how he thinks about things. I will drop more videos like this. I will walk around different places and talk to different people, and I will bring in more people. And if you're one of these people who are very fascinated by these kinds of topics, please hit me up, share this video, come, let's sit down, let's talk about these things, and let us come together and uncover this truth. So, are you a simple man, or are you a prudent man?